My name is Roxanne Vigos, and I am a local artist. I work in jewelry and textiles. So jewelry for me and dye both have something very similar in that the materials are where I focus on the story. So I first started doing jewelry when I was 12, and a friend of mine gave me a bag of beads, and it was just a mix of like everything. And we're talking like tiny, tiny beads to like really cool Venetian trade beads. And at that time I had no idea what they were, but I knew they were special. And so I sorted every single bead in the bag, and it probably took me a week or two to do it, but I was just so intrigued that these little tiny things that come from all around the world and from every culture have a story that connects us all. So it's the same for me with the dye plants, that there's a historical lineage that is something that I feel like is so useful to talk about and teach each other. In 2020, I did a study of local dye plants within like a 30-mile radius of my home. So I collected samples and then I took them home and I processed them and created little swatches of all the dye colors. I called it Sheltered by Place because often we forget that we have an ecosystem around us that is constantly supporting us and nurturing us. Later that year, I also did an indigo project where I encouraged the community to come in and paint a square of fabric with designs. And those designs resisted the indigo, so when it got dipped in indigo, their designs showed up, and I sewed them all onto a big sheet panel that was displayed for Art Stroll. When I first received this award for folk artist, I was like, oh my goodness, am I a folk artist? And I actually looked up Wikipedia to see what it said. And I realized that all of my life I've been a folk artist. So a lot of folk arts are passed down through different lineages, and that may be grandmothers, grandpas, ancestors, or it may be someone who's skilled in a particular craft. I have been able to find a lot of great teachers who teach wonderful techniques and who are masters of their field, but they may not necessarily be recognized for their academic achievements. So I feel totally like it's a responsibility, and I'm totally humbled by it. I feel like one of the best ways that I could demonstrate how important this is to honor other people in the community who may not be recognized. There's always people who do their art that don't feel seen. And I feel like that's an important thing to reach out and try to find them, because it may be the thing that keeps them doing their art when so many things can constantly say it's not important. So I feel like I kind of have a responsibility to be an example and show those people not to give up. And if you can't go the traditional route of getting an art degree, there are still plenty of options for you to pursue your craft and your passion, and just finding the right teacher and finding the thing that inspires you and taking a course and also being a forever student. I think that's really important.